So I'm Dr. Crescencio Fidelcita Lucad, and we're going to discuss the roles of barangay health workers, or the BHWs. So I want to take credit Dr. De Torres for this PowerPoint. For the objectives of today's discussion, again, to list down the roles of barangay health workers, or the BHW. Another, identify the tasks related to a BHW's work. And last, define the enable factors and the skills needed by the BHW in performance of their task. So again, let's define what is BHW. Okay, according to RA number 7883, this is the person who has undergone training program under any accredited government and non-government organization, or the NGO. Aside from that, in accordance with this RA, person who voluntarily renders primary healthcare services in the community after having accredited to function as such by the local health board in accordance with the guidelines promulgated by the DOH, or the Department of Health. Another, for the number of barangay health workers, again in accordance with RA number 7883. So again, according to this Republic Act, the total number of barangay health workers nationwide shall not exceed 1% of the total population. Also, for the ratio, shall be at least 1 BHW every 20 household. So what are the requirements for the BHWs, no? So again, they must have rendered basic community health care services continuously and satisfactory for at least 6 months. Aside from that, have completed the basic orientation and training of the BHW as prescribed by the DOH and conducted by an accredited government agency or DOH recognized academic institution or NGO. Also, there must be a particular age, no, before being a BHW. So be at least 18 years of age at the date of filing of the application for registration. And again, the individual must be physically and mentally fit. This requirement is in accordance with the House Bill number 10699, an act providing for the Magna Carta of Barangay Healthcare Worker. So what are the different specific roles of a BHW? Again, this is accordance with the Barangay Health Workers Pocket Handbook by the DOH that was published in year 2015, and House Bill number 10699, an act providing for the Magna Carta for Barangay Health Worker. So number one, again, advocate. Okay, they will become the advocate of the community. Aside from that, educator, especially if they're going to do the health teachings. Disseminator, specifically by the information. Linker, or the coordinator, so they are the one that will link to a higher agency or report to a agency if there's particular problem that exists in the community. Record keeper for the data, and healthcare service provider. So these are the 6 specific roles of BHW in accordance with the House Bill 10699 and BHW Pocket Handbook by the DOH. So again, for the advocate, so again, an advocate of a current health program, project, and activities to improve access and use of health services. To support, promote, and champion the current health program, project, and activities to improve access to quality health services toward the improved health status of the community. Okay, so that's the main goal of being advocator of the BHW. So next, an educator who will advise and counsel the community. So again, to guide and advise the community on the current DOH and health priorities of the local government units, or the LGU, such as importance of your birth plan, facility-based delivery in reducing the maternal and infants mortality or the deaths, the newborn screening or the NBS for the early detection of congenital metabolic disorder, okay, yung mga errors of metabolism, okay, which may lead to mental retardation and even death, among others, no? So right now, aside from the traditional na disease that is being detected by the NBS, right now it's more expanded na, okay? More broad and more complex. So next, disseminator. So again, to maintain regular communication between local professional health workers and the catchment household. Okay, so again, the BHW will update the concern and again the different relevant information in the community, and also to inform the same to the community for appropriate action if necessary. So another, a linker or coordinator. So to facilitate access to or association of the community with relevant network of health and non-health service provider within or outside their catchment areas. Also, a record keeper to maintain updated list records of health data, health activities, events in the area or the community. Another, healthcare service provider. So again, to assist and promote basic healthcare services as may be needed in the community in any health event. So again, those are the basic, okay, roles of a BHW in the community. Okay, but sometimes in real setting, okay, aside from those basic rules, there's an additional extension pa of their different roles. Okay, so aside from that, essential general qualities of a BHW. So again, they must possess this different attitude, no? So again, teachable. Okay, so they must be there must be an openness to learn new things and to accept feedback or the mistakes for further improvement. Okay, another, team player. Okay, so cooperate and work harmoniously with other team members, no? So again, so work harmoniously with the midwives, the nurse, the physicians, okay, the other allied health workers, the patient. Okay, another, diligent and dedicated to work. So there must be a perseverance in doing his or her job despite the difficulties, okay, setbacks and lack of financial support. Okay, another, kind, sensitive and considerate to others. Okay, again, this is in accordance with the BHW Pocket Handbook by the DOH. So what are the different incentive and the benefits, no? So according to the House Bill number 10699, again, these are the different incentives. Okay, so first, privilege for the BHW. Okay, there must be a 20% discount on all items. Okay, another, they have their hazard allowance, so which costs 1,000 peso or pesos per month. Next, subsistence allowance, 100 per day or 100 pesos per day. They also have their transpo or the transportation allowance, which costs 1,000 pesos per month. Another, one-time retirement cash incentive, which costs 10,000 pesos, at least 15 years of service, no? So they must get that particular years for them to get the 10,000 pesos. Another, training, education, and career enrichment programs. So sometimes the different BHWs are being sent to different seminars for updates, na? And also health benefits such as the free medical care, okay, 5,000 pesos emergency assistance, and PhilHealth membership. Okay, so these are the different incentives and benefits, okay, of becoming a BHW. So aside from that, there's an insurance coverage, okay, in particular agency of the government, the GSIS. Okay, sick, vacation, and maternity leaves continue to receive their monthly honoraria or the payroll while on leave. So, kahit na naka-leave sila, again, still continuous yung incentives nila. Okay? Another, cash gift. Okay? Not less than the minimum monthly honoraria. Another, disability benefit, 2,000 pesos every year of service. Okay? Another, civil service eligibility, 3 years continuous service. Okay? And free legal services. Okay? Aside from that, preferentially access to loan facility by 1% of their loanable fund for organized BHW groups. Okay? So as you're going to notice, no, maraming benefits ang mga BHWs, no? It's not just the salary, okay? Aside from that, there's more. Okay? So again, for the task analysis, so again, let's define again what is task, okay? So task again is an activity or a process, okay? So it's a piece of work to be done or undertaken, or the assign a piece of work to do. Okay, that's the task. Okay. So again, what's the difference between task versus role? No. So for the role, these are the things to be, and for the task, things to do. So again, what is task analysis? Okay. So analysis of how a task is accomplished. Also, it includes skill, attitude, and knowledge needed to perform that particular task. Okay? Also, in the task analysis, there's a detailed description of the task itself, including the steps, the procedures, okay? What's the timetable or the time allocation, the different equipments or the materials, and the safety equipment, okay? Environment and any other factors required to complete a given task. Okay, so these are the different information that is being written in the task analysis. Okay, so now let's go with the stages of task analysis. Okay, so number 1, you must select the task, okay, for further analysis. Okay, that's the first step. Next, once you already selected the task for analysis, okay, so already once you're done now with the selecting the task analysis, now let's go with the second step. Okay, select the sources of information. Okay, because again, after or once you already selected that, you're now going to start collecting the data or the information. Okay, and further list the subtask. Okay, then decide on the knowledge and the attitudes needed. And last is check the task analysis table. Okay, so these are the different flow or the stages of task analysis. Okay, because again, you cannot do a particular step if you miss a particular step. That's why it should be systematic. Okay, so again, for the select the task, so in practice, this take too much time, and so just a few tasks should be chosen to start with. Okay, and it does not rely or really matter which tasks are chosen, but it might be sensible to start with tasks that are familiar or are carried out frequently by the health workers. Okay, so again, that's for the selection of the task. So selecting the source of information, again, choosing one of the sources below. So again, either yourself, the textbook, the observation of the health workers, discussion with teachers, administrators, and advisors, and discussion with health workers. Okay, so these are the different ways or how to select, no, or give you an idea where the information can be will be get, no. So for collecting the information, again, if you're going to get the information for yourself, again, it will pertain towards your own experience. For the manual and textbook, compare what you think is correct. So because again, yung mga nasa textbook or written in the manuals and textbook, okay, so most of them are the standard. So you're going to check if your thinking or the information that you think is aligned with the standard. That's why if you want to further validate your information or again what you think, you need to read the book just to align, no, or just to check if that is somehow aligned with the standard. Another, observation of health workers by watching the workers doing the job. Okay? Another, discussion with teachers, administrator, and advisors. Okay? And discussion with health workers. So next, listing the subtask. Okay? At this stage, you should draw up an organized list of subtasks using the notes you have taken. So what are the different things that might happen during this phase? Okay, so the subtasks are the things that happen, no? The action, the communication, and the decision. Okay, so these are the different information that is inside the listing of the subtask. So deciding on knowledge, attitude, and skills, again, consider the subtask and make a comment regarding knowledge, attitude, and skills developed. Okay, so checking the task analysis table. So the best way to find if the task is not realistic. Okay, task analysis does not help in making this decision, but again, it does help in making the differences clearer. Okay, so again, I hope you gain some important information regarding the previous discussion that we've discussed. Okay, so now let's try to do a particular exercise or application regarding the discussion that we've done already. So what are the steps in getting a patient's blood pressure? Okay, so again, one, selecting the correct blood cuff. Okay, so again, what's the reason for that? No, so again, if you select the correct blood cuff, so again, the width is 40% of the upper arm circumference and the length is 80% of the upper arm circumference. So again, for the selecting of the blood pressure cuff, so you know what is the ideal. Okay, that's the application of your knowledge. Okay, and for the attitude is the accuracy for you to have a correct blood pressure, because again, if the cuff that you're going to use is again not applicable for a particular patient, example, you're going to use the BP cuff of pedi and adult, so automatically it's inaccurate, no? So mali yung makuha ang BP. That's why again, as a basic knowledge, you know what is the correct, okay, measurement of the cuff that you're going to use to a particular patient, no? So that's the application of knowledge. You have an idea kung ano yung tamang gagamitin. Okay? So next, make sure the examination room is quiet. So again, what's the importance of that? Again, syempre, to decrease the stimulus and get a correct BP. Okay? So another, rest for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? So inspection of the arm. So what's the knowledge? Importance of no lesion on the arm. Because again, if you take the BP on the arm that has a lesion, so again, it may inflict pain. Then further, you're not going to get the accurate BP. Okay, because again, pain may increase the blood pressure. Okay, so for the attitude, thoroughness and accuracy. And for the skills, arm is free from clothing or free of clothing. There should be no fistula because it may destroy the fistula if you get the BP on the arm na may fistula, no? So usually the fistula, this is the dialysis access, no? So for those patients that undergoes dialysis, okay? So common in CKD or chronic kidney disease patient. Okay, so may mga cut down and lymph edema. Okay, so automatically if this following, okay, is again may damit, may fistula, may cut down, lymph edema, ginawa mo to doon sa arm, no? So again, you're not going to get the accurate BP. Next, palpate the brachial artery. So again, you should know where's the brachial artery, no? Usually it's in the medial aspect of the antecubital area. So for the attitude, again, pag pinapalpate, it should be gentle. Okay? So, and proper palpation of the brachial artery. So, 6, position the brachial artery at the antecubital crease or level of the heart, no? So, commonly, if you're going to get the BP, it should be on the left arm because of the embryonic origin of the heart, no? So, heart is centrally located but more nakapoint sa left. That's why left arm dapat nagbi-BP. Okay? But again, it will differ in the real setting, no? So sometimes both arm bini-BP, especially if the patient is very hypertensive. Okay? So again, location of the antecubital crease, and again, you're going to locate it by again, syempre, you should know your anatomical regions, no? And for the attitude, again, gentle, being gentle, okay? So, next, center the bladder, okay, over the brachial artery, okay? And attitude is the being gentle. So next, lower border of cuff at 2.5 centimeter above the antecubital crease. So if you're going to put the cuff, no, around the arm of your patient, it should be 2.5 centimeter above the antecubital crease. So the BP cuff should not cover, no, the antecubital or the antecubital crease completely, no? Dapat medyo nakataas siya ng 2.5 centimeter. Okay? So again, you must first know the anatomical location. Okay? Another, determine how high, okay, to raise the cuff pressure. Okay? So usually, no, as long as may naririnig ka na sound na upon inflating the bulb of the blood pressure, so you're going to add 2 to 3 millimercury, you're going to add 15 to 20 millimercury until mawala yung sound na narinig mo, saka magde-deflate, na? So, for the knowledge, technique to determine the appropriate level of cuff pressure. So, for the deflation, again, deflate the cuff promptly and wait 15 to 30 seconds, no? And again, dapat you know how to deflate the cuff, no? Usually, dahan-dahan siya, no? At least 2 to 3 millimercury, no? So, dahan-dahan siya dinideflate, okay? So, another, place the bell of a stethoscope over the brachial artery and inflate the cuff to the level just determines, no? So, bakit bell? So, actually, by the book, it should be the bell because the bell detects the low-frequency sound, no? But again, right now, in the different setting, so ginagamit nila the diaphragm, no? But again, by the book, it should be the bell because it detects the low-frequency sound. Comparing with the diaphragm, it detects the high-frequency sound, no? So, but again, in reality, diaphragm ginagamit. But by the book, it should be the bell. Okay? So, again, you should know the location of the brachial artery and how to inflate the cuff. And again, next, determine the systolic blood pressure. And for the knowledge, how to determine the systolic blood pressure. Okay? And 13, determine the diastolic blood pressure. So, for the systolic, that's the contraction of the heart, and diastolic, that is the relaxation of the heart, no? So, again, for the systolic blood pressure, the reason for that is the closure of your AV bulb and opening of the semilunar bulbs, no? And for the diastolic, that is the opening of the AV bulb and closure of the semilunar bulbs, no? That's why, upon closure of the AV bulb and opening of the semilunar, it will give rise to your S1 or the lab. And for the diastolic, that's the opening of the AV bulb and closure of the semilunar. That's why it will give rise to your S2 or dub. Okay? So again, for the determine the systolic blood pressure, so determine the level at which you hear the sound of at least 2 consecutive beats. Okay? So usually sa systolic blood pressure, may mga phases yan. But again, ito yung first na sound na maririnig mo. Okay? For the diastolic, lower the pressure slowly until seconds become muffled and then disappear. Okay? So, this is the last sound that you're going to hear. No? So, usually may mga phases yan in physiology. But again, it takes time, no? For you to know taking the BP. It's not overnight. Sometimes it's a skill that develops over a period of time. So, next, what are the steps in performing an otoscopy? Okay? So again, number 1, explain the procedure to the patient. Okay, so you should know what's the importance of your otoscopy. Okay, so again, so you should build your rapport, no, to your patient. So next, check of the otoscope if properly functioning. So baka mamaya low bat or walang battery. Okay, so handle the otoscope properly, and again, you should know how to use your otoscope. Okay. So, for the skills, between thumb and point finger, place the back of your hand along the person's cheek so that it is steady and brace. Okay? So, another, examine the external ear. Usually, in pediatric population, if that is less than 3, diba, you're going to pull the tragus down and backward. If that is more than 3 years old, you're going to pull the auricle up and backward, no? The reason for that, pag less than 3, pababa and pa-backward, yung pulling ng ear because of the still there the anatomical structure or the ear canal is not yet well developed, no? Comparing with children more than 2 years old. So the auricle are being pulled up and then backward, no? So take note of any redness or erythema, discharge, swelling, pain, and again, be gentle in doing this and it should be accurate. So another, straighten the ear canal. So again, just like nung nasabi ko kanina, so how to do physical exam on eardrum and canal. Okay, again, be gentle and accuracy is needed. And for the skills, use opposite hand to gently pull the outer ear upward and backward on patients more than 12 months. Okay, and another, different books kasi would tell no the particular age, no, but again for the interest of the class, no, so again, use opposite hand to gently pull the outer ear upward and backward on patients more than 1 year old or more than 12 months. So another, insert the otoscope slowly, okay, into the ear canal, no, and be gentle and avoid putting too much pressure on the otoscope to avoid discomfort. Okay, so another, take note of the findings. So you check if there's redness, swelling, pain, okay, and again, report the findings and explain the findings to the patient. Okay, and syempre, you put your empathy pa rin, no, and be professional. Okay, for the reference, these are the following. Okay, for the activity and assignment, so interview with the BHW and workshop, no. So again, interview with BHW. So 4 BHWs will be available for the online interview via Zoom for an hour. Okay, another, so please assign an overall facilitator for the activity to make the interview more organized. And each section will prepare at least 3 required questions with regards to the lecture on the roles of BHW. And each section will initially ask 3 questions, after which anyone from the whole batch can ask their question. Okay? And also, please coordinate with the other sections to avoid repetition of question. Because again, the community, pag paulit-ulit sometimes, the patients nairita na sila, no? So, please coordinate. So, another, for the workshop, so for the first column, list down all the roles that the barangay health workers will play based on your program plan. And for the second column, what are the tasks that she or he needs to accomplish to be able to fulfill the role. Okay, so that's for the workshop 7A. Now for workshop 7B, choose one task for the task specified in workshop 7A and identify the subtasks needed to perform the identified task of the community health worker. Okay, third, identify the specific role or knowledge needed to be able to perform the subtask. Okay, and specify what are the must-know knowledge, nice to know, or useful to know knowledge needed for the subtask. And again, please do not check, okay? You have to specify what knowledge is needed to accomplish the task. Okay, be more specific. Okay, don't just check it. So again, number 4, identify the attitude needed to be able to perform the subtask. And 5th, identify the skills, categorize whether these are decision-making, manual, or communication skill. Okay? So again, you must fill up all the column or just the columns appropriate for the subtask. And again, the instruction is to identify. So please write the specific skill needed for the subtask. So again, for the deadline, again, will be on March 28th. Okay, 2025. So, it's a typographical error. So, 12 noon. Okay, so again, submit through Canvas and UARM email of your preceptor. Okay, again, deadline, March 28, 2025. 12 noon. Okay, so thank you.